Well, as you can see, I don't have video editing. Um, I just decided that I would start making videos rather than waiting until everything was in place. So I'm very sorry to be interrupted at the crux of the story. If anyone wants to volunteer to edit my videos, I would love that. But what's going on is so profound. Because Nebuchadnezzar looks into this fire. And if you've looked into a fire, I used to watch, my grandfather was a blacksmith, and he'd have the forge. And when you would get to that glowing center of the fire, you were seeing just shapes moving. I loved looking at it. And that's what's going on here. This fire is, the air is being blown in. This fire is 7 times hotter than they've ever dared to make this furnace before. And the men are walking around, not a moment of frantic running about as their nervous systems shut down, but they're walking about, and suddenly in this fire that is so bright comes down a light unlike anything they've seen. And the king recognizes immediately that this is not natural. He is looking at perhaps the hottest fire that has ever been in his kingdom, and something brighter and hotter is coming down. And suddenly there's a fourth figure, and it looks like the Son of a God. I can see the king calling off all of the servants, "Stop fanning." Used to wonder about that. How did he get close after the guards died? Well, I think that's what happened. They stopped fanning this fire, and he got as close as he could, inching closer as the temperature dropped. And he calls out, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come out." And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who a short time before said, "We are not sure whether our God will save us. We are not sure what causes God to save some and abandon others. We don't know. We are filled with doubts." They came out of that fire having met their Redeemer. Question that I have for you who are doubting is, would it be worth it? Do you, like them, want to know if God is real so much that you would risk everything? But that question isn't just for you. That question drives me. Drives me to be irresponsible. Drives me to be an unemployed idealist, living this life, trusting God for things that I know I could get in my own strength. And as I put a little tiny specks at risk, it is there that I meet a God who surpasses everything this world has. I don't know whether I'll ever be called upon to wager my life. And if I am called upon, I am quite sure that my response will be filled with doubt, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's. That I will say, I know that I have heard the stories of a God who can rescue his children. But I've also seen some pretty horrible things. I've seen some times where I was sure that God should have stepped in, that he held back. And I have seen situations that I felt needed the power of God, and the power of God was nowhere to be found, and people suffered who did not deserve to suffer. And I have 1,000 questions about the way that God is God. But this I know. That is no God, and I will not bow down. That's a faith that I want to have. That's a faith that I'm hoping you will hunger for. I'm not sure I did anything to make it easier for you to deal with those doubts. As a matter of fact, I may have challenged you in a way that is not at all comfortable. But at least I didn't ignore your doubts. Because those doubts are doubts I share. Doubts big enough to fire God, except that there's no one even close to replacing Him. Those doubts of mine would make a lousy God. Those temptations that if I could fire God, then I could do what I want, make a lousy tyrant of a God. But there is one God whose ways are so far above my ways, who is worthy of that position. And when it comes time for my challenge, I hope that I will say what these Israelites said. Know this, O King. We have a God who can save us from your fire, but if He does not, I still will not bow down. God grant us the courage to face our doubts in that strength. Thank you for watching.